Thank you for joining me today. So today I thought I would change things up a bit, not talk about nutrition, but I want to talk to you about my story and how I ended up being a virtual health coach. So the story goes back to when I was a very little girl. And my parents used to take me to this store on the weekends. And it was in an old house and it had this interesting smell to it. It was a very old, probably 100-year-old house. I was like 4 or 5. And we'd walk in and there was like healthy stuff everywhere. It was a health food store. And this is back in the 70s, okay? So we're talking a long time ago, before Whole Foods really was a thing. And I loved going here because my mom would give me a sweet treat. So I loved going there and I got to get this sweet treat from the health food store. So that was, some of my earliest memories. And then with my dad, he was a power lifter when I was really little, and he would take me with him on his workouts, and we would go to these like tiny little rooms from what I remember. I mean, they were so small, and there would be like a weight bench and weights everywhere, and I would be in there while he worked out. And then he and my uncle, his brother, got it together and built a gym. So I grew up in a family gym. And I have to tell you, when I was a kid, the ceilings were really tall. I don't know, 30 feet tall maybe. And they had these giant poles and I would just climb them. I would climb all the way to the top. I loved climbing trees. I loved climbing poles apparently. And I would just slide all the way down. So it was, and my mom would get all nervous about it, but what are you going to do? So I grew up in this wonderful, caring environment. And then I went out and I got to be an adult and things changed. So going to a gym for the first time after growing up in my family gym was really odd. I felt so embarrassed. I felt like everybody was watching me. I'm sure they weren't. We're always so caught up in that, right? Where we think people are actually paying more attention than they are. So I would just I couldn't do it. So I was never consistent with it. And then I would try to do certain things, like go to a class, and the times were never right for me. Like, for example, I was not a morning person. Most of us aren't, I don't think. I mean, I've met quite a few in the last few years, but before that, mornings are difficult for people, right? So getting up to get to a class by 6 o'clock was just not even in the cards for me. So I found at-home programs, and the first programs I had were on VCR tapes. Who knows what those are? So yeah, we're taking you back to before there were DVDs, and it was like a Taibo kickboxing thing. I really loved Taibo and kickboxing, so I did that, and I probably had Buns of Steel and a few other things, but it wasn't until flashing forward a couple of years and DVDs are finally making their way mainstream, and I saw, the infomercials, and I got my first, it was called Power 90. I got that, didn't like it at all. And then I got a Pilates, and I had belly dancing, and I got Zumba. I mean, I had all kinds of stuff to work out at home. It was my thing. That's what I did. But it was the infomercial that I spoke about recently in my news feed that really changed everything for me. It was, 2 in the morning. I was a little tipsy, and there she is bouncing around. And I went home and I got this workout program, and I did it from 2005 or 2006. Until, she came out with another one not too long after that, and I got that one too. So it was around 2007, in that second video for this trainer, that I started seeing things advertising the coaching opportunity, the health coaching opportunity. And it didn't resonate with me. I saw it, I ignored it. I even watched like the whole thing. It just did not resonate with me. So I kept moving on and doing my thing. And as life goes on, lots of things changed between the time I was a kid until like 2014, which is where I'm going to pick up in my story. The obesity rate climbed. The Super Size Me thing happened. I mean, Super Size Me has changed the waistline on Americans, and now pretty much everywhere in the world. So all these things happened at the same time. I'm kind of doing my thing, and I get really concerned, especially when I'm seeing childhood obesity rise. And I'm actually doing a research paper this year in my master's program on childhood obesity because it is such a concern for my heart. So I had all this passion and wanted to help, but I didn't know how. So in 2014, I started gaining weight. I'm almost 40. The things that I had been doing for years they weren't working anymore. So I had to find something new, and I went out and I found something new, and I found myself in a challenge group. And that was at the beginning of 2015. And a challenge group is just a group of people who are on a health journey together, and we're reaching for our own goals while encouraging the people with us to reach theirs. So as a coach, I kind of encourage everybody in the group and try to help everyone find their tool, the proper tool, the exercise, the nutrition, everything to reach towards their goal. So I had a coach doing that for me. And so like on my hard days, because we all have hard days when we're trying to lose weight, right? On my hard days, I had this community to go to and talk about my hard days. And that made all the difference. And the weight started coming off. So then the coaching opportunity came up again. And in 2016, a little over a year and a half after I joined my first challenge group, I finally said yes to coaching. I finally understood what the opportunity meant, and that it was this platform that I was looking for to help others with the chronic conditions that I started to see through reading medical records as a paralegal, watching the news, just being very aware of health concerns. And I finally found that platform that I needed and that to help get my word out. So that's why I decided coaching was right for me. And then in 2017, my life changed drastically. I don't want to go into it here, but needless to say, my immediate family went from 3 girls and a mom and a dad. I lost a sister and I lost my mom. And then later on in 2018, I lost my dog. Hard times, hard as anything. So I have this business and I'm trying to grow my business at the same time I'm dealing with grief, and it's really, really tough. But what I got from being a coach was a community that really I could just lean into, because my story, as unique as it was to me, there was someone in the coaching community that had their own trial and tribulations that they have dealt with. And together, when you realize you are not alone with the feelings that you have, it makes it so much easier to get through. Because when we feel lonely, it hurts so much more. Yes, this is the little puppy that I lost in 2018. So I have this coaching company this business. And after I got through what I call my chapter of shite, which was, it's always going to be the darkest period of my life, I have decided to continue to grow it, and I'm offering this opportunity to you. Now, this doesn't give you a lot of information about what we do as coaches. So if you want more information, then just get in touch with me. But I wanted to tell you where I came from that little girl in the Whole Foods type store, the health store, when she was like 4 years old, to today. I have been on a very long health journey, and it's been a roller coaster ride with all sorts of loops, but here I am still standing. And I still want to help others because your health matters to me. You have no idea how much that's true. That's why I am doing a master's in human nutrition program, because I feel like nutrition is something we have all lost sight on, and we need to get back to it. So combine my master's program with the tools in my company, and I have so much to help you with, and I'm so excited. So if you're curious about what I do as a coach, I would love to chat with you. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you later.